All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. I hate this question, but we have to ask it, right? After what we all witnessed on primetime football last night, after what has taken place over the first 3 weeks of the NFL season, I think it's fair to ask the question, are the Jets the worst team in football? Right? Is this a team right now that, you're looking ahead at the rest of the schedule, the teams that they play, some good teams, some not so good teams. Do the Jets, do you feel right now any sort of confidence in this team that they can go out and beat, a given opponent, right? You're taking a look across the rest of the NFL at the other, quote unquote bad teams, Saints, Panthers, Giants, Dolphins, right? Tennessee Titans. Like based off of what we've seen so far, the Jets are right in that mix. I hate to say it, but I gotta be objective. I gotta be real with what I'm seeing. And I said this in the recap video. It is very freaking alarming that the Jets today, September 30th, are not better at anything than they were a month ago. And listen, I like Aaron Glenn. I want him to succeed. I love the whole, hiring the former player, trying to really break out of that mold. There was so much dysfunction that took place with Saleh and Ulbrich and Rodgers, God, and Hackett. It was just a mess, right? The finger pointing, not my fault, not my fault. Joe Douglas, not his fault, not Saleh's fault. It's not Hackett's fault. It's not Rodgers. Whose fault? Just a mess. Right, storylines, the Athletic dropping these big bombshell articles. Thankfully we haven't had any of that. Behind the scenes, it really feels like the Jets have done a good job of kind of reshaping the culture internally, but again, we have to be objective with what we're seeing, what is actually taking place on the field, and what we are seeing is not impressive. It is not impressive. If the Jets were rolling out a bunch of 7th round picks, undrafted free agents, okay, it's a little understandable. And to be fair, that's actually one of the reasons why I don't come down on the offense so hard as I do the defense, right? Because offensively, we right now have a question mark at the quarterback position. We don't know if Fields is going to be the long-term answer. Our best offensive lineman, Elijah Vera Tucker, done for the season before the year even starts. Wide receiver, outside of Garrett Wilson, he is amazing, but outside of him, the room is completely desolate. Between the wide receiver 2, 3, and 4, Josh Reynolds, Allen Lazard, and Tyler Johnson, they have a combined 63 yards through 4 games. Think about that for a sec, right? 63 yards. 3 wide receivers combined over 4 games. Then you throw on top of it Tanner Ingstrand. He's trying to learn on the fly. First time doing it. First time calling plays at the NFL level. Yeah, there's going to be a learning curve there. All right, starting a rookie tight end, Mason Taylor. Joe Tippmann out of position, right? Technically center, but he's playing guard. You got a couple young tackles. You kind of expect, okay, there's going to be bumps along the road for the offense. It is what it is. But defensively, highest paid corner in football, one of the highest paid linebackers in Sherwood, one of the highest paid defensive tackles in Quinnen, first rounders all over the place. They trade for Harrison Phillips. They signed Andre Sisco. Michael Carter, one of the highest paid slot corners. Brandon Stevens was kind of the prize free agent, acquisition that they brought in. I mean, the Jets have the worst safety combo in football, right? If you look at the production from those guys, whether it's tackling, whether it's pursuit, whether it's aggression, whether it's missed tackles, whether it's angles being taken to the football, whether it's lack of takeaways, whether it's run support, pass defense, man coverage, zone coverage, whatever you want to call, the safeties are not producing. And again, this is something else that we talked about in the recap video. When your corners can't cover and when your safeties can't do anything, yeah, chances are opposing offenses are going to be able to torch you through the air and probably going to be able to put up points. Tampa got in the end zone with a million players out. Buffalo got in the end zone with ease. Pittsburgh got in the end zone with ease. Miami just right down the field. Waddle, Tyreek, Darren Waller comes out of retirement and just looks simply amazing against this Jets defense. It really feels like the Jets right now are just like the get right game, right? Like if you're a team that's struggling, oh sweet, we got the Jets, right? Chances are we'll be able to drop like 25 plus on that defense, right? They do the same thing over and over. Our quarterbacks are going to know where to go with the football. Pre-snap, there's not much happening post snap as far as diagnosis from the quarterback position. They're going to run a ton of man coverage. We know this. And for whatever reason, their corners can't cover, but they're running it at one of the highest, if not the highest percentage in the entire National Football League. And when they do decide to drop back in zone coverage, you don't have many bodies, much talent at D end, right? Especially with the Jermaine Johnson injury. So chances of you rushing the passer and getting home are very slim, right? If you just want to rush 4. And then you're also beat up and pretty young at the linebacker position. So now you're asking a bunch of very, very young players to drop back in coverage and play, perfect zone defense. Yeah, that is just a recipe to get torched on Sundays. It's been very, very, very frustrating. But before we go on, I did want to give a special shout out to today's video sponsor, Mando. Over on Mando.com, they offer a starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick of deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, plus 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes. And it also comes with free shipping as well. They sent me over a starter pack not too long ago, and I've been using it. This one's actually my favorite scent, the Invisible Cream Pro Sport. Not to mention, Mando is cruelty-free, dye-free, and it's formulated without sulfites, parabens, or phthalates. And as a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping using code Jetscentral at shopmando.com. Again, 20% off plus free shipping. So thanks so much, Mando, for sponsoring the video. So on average, the Jets are 28th in opposing points per game, averaging out at 30. The average for opposing yards per game is 330. And again, I think the biggest thing that is just so strange, is that the Jets actually, on paper, have very good players. And they're running a system that these players fit. And the guy calling the defense is a veteran who's done it before and has called a defense like this before in the past. I'm just throw on top of it, Steve Wilks is a former DB coach. Aaron Glenn is a former DB coach who's had great success. Kirby Joseph, think about all the DBs that Glenn has developed throughout the years. And even Steve Wilks too, to a certain degree, right? Josh Norman back in Carolina. Like, there is some awesome defensive backs that these guys have worked with. But for whatever reason, the New York Jets are simply not good. They are simply, if you want to be blunt with it, awful. Now it's only 4 games into the season, but again, man, it's very triggering for me to see the same exact team in week 4 that we did in week 1. And so, if you circle back and start talking about the other teams in football, most of the bad teams, quote unquote, at least have a feather in their cap, right? The Giants get the, upset win against the Chargers. Sweet, good for them. The Carolina Panthers had this shocking blowout win against the Atlanta Falcons at home. Okay, that was pretty cool. The Miami Dolphins bounced back on a Monday night victory. Chicago's another team, right? They found 2 back-to-back victories, 2 hard-fought victories. One against Dallas, one, of course, against Vegas this past Sunday. But, I mean, think about the panic level after just 2 weeks. Ben Johnson kind of getting testy with the media. Pressures on Caleb Williams, right? Number 1 overall pick in year 2. Johnson's the offensive mind. At least for them, they've been able to bounce back, secure a couple W's. Again, good for them. Right now, are the Jets the bottom of the barrel worst team in football? I'm probably going to say no, but to me, they're bottom 3. Based solely off of the first 4 weeks of the NFL season, from what I have witnessed so far, the growth or lack of growth, I think it's a bottom 3 team. And it kills me to say it. It pains me to say it, because the amount of talent on this football team should simply not equate to being this bad. I'm not saying be great, be elite, be amazing, be above average, but it should at least, at the very least, be above 25. Come on now. And for context, probably the other 2 teams that I would lump in the bottom 3, unfortunately, I would go Tennessee, even though I love Cam Ward and his upside and playmaking ability and whatnot. But bottom line, they've been blown out 2 times. They've had 1 pretty bad loss. I wouldn't really consider it a blowout, but multi-possession loss. And they did keep it close against Denver in week 1. They had a lot of drop passes, 8-point loss, still a loss though, right? Winless football team. And New Orleans has had some that to me, New Orleans has kind of been the team that I do believe will probably end up getting the first overall pick when it's all said and done. Cleveland is another team, but at least they have an upset win over Green Bay. Right now we're looking at this Jets month, and it's like really the only thing we can hang our hat on is the comeback against Tampa, which we couldn't secure, and then playing Pittsburgh really close. And by the way, the score on the surface, right? Like if you didn't watch the Jet game, 21 points on the road against Miami, only losing by 6 points. Like how bad could it have been? No, it was bad. Miami won that game early, and there was never really a big moment where I'm thinking, okay, the Jets have this in the bag. We're coming back and we're going to win. We're going to have this Monday Night Miracle 2.0 type of situation. No, there was maybe one moment in the second half where I was thinking, okay, like this could be a game. Garrett Wilson caught this, crazy touchdown. And then it was just this ridiculous offensive pass interference flag. Look at what George Pickens was doing against Green Bay. Look at what A.J. Brown does. And you're going to go and call that on Garrett Wilson. But I digress. That wasn't the reason why the Jets lost. The Jets beat themselves. Was it a part of it? Yes, but it wasn't the sole reason. So therefore, I'm not going to pin the loss on the referees. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Are the Jets the worst team in football right now? Are you thinking about the draft? We have not reached October yet, and I'm getting texts from my friends talking about who we should take with our top 3 draft selection. Now, I love the NFL draft. I love college football. I have 7 scouting reports done up to this point, but I've started over 30, which I'm really excited about. College football has been so much fun to dive into this season, but we should not be talking about the NFL draft this early in the NFL season for the Jets. And granted, things can turn around. But for me, at least, I'm not looking at the rest of these games saying, oh, yeah, that's a for sure win. No problem. That's an easy win. The Jets have so much more talent than this team, or we're that much better coached than that team. No, we're in the prove it mode. We are in the 100% prove it mode. You got to actually go out and show Jets fans that this team is changing for the better, because through 4 games, we have not seen that. We simply haven't. There's been some good things. It's not like we're losing 50-0 every game. Like, we are able to run the ball. I do like Tanner Estrand's game plans coming in to matchups. I think our run blocking is pretty efficient, all things considered, right? I don't think it's a top unit in football, but I think it's definitely good enough and definitely above average. And I think that's pretty encouraging. Understanding, again, no AVT in the youth on the offensive line. I think that should be the building block. But again, virtually no passing attack. And then you can't be this ground and pound team, and then your defense just gives up all these points and yards. I mean, look at Baltimore. Not saying they're ground and pound, but running the ball is part of that Ravens identity. They're 1-3. Granted, 1 loss to Buffalo, 1 loss to Kansas City. It is what it is. But that formula doesn't work. Typically when you see these successful rushing attacks, they're paired with a good defense that can get the ball back to them, force punts, take the football away, limit. Sometimes it's bend but don't break, and you're only giving up field goals. But the Jets defense, again, is flat out abysmal. So you could establish the run. Yeah, you can go on longer drives. But if the defense is just going to get shredded every time they step on the field, is it really a formula of long-term success? No, the defense needs to perform better. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And as always, go Jets.